Life is full of challenges. People will test you, situations will push your limits. But what if I told you that mastering your emotions in every moment isn't just possible, but the key to living with strength and peace? I'm about to share 9 powerful lessons from Stoicism that can change the way you respond to everything life throws at you. Stay with me, and by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to control your reactions, stay calm under pressure, and reclaim control of your life. Let's get started and get ready to master your emotions. Have you ever felt like someone's words or actions ruined your whole day? Maybe it was a rude comment, a thoughtless gesture, or just an unexpected inconvenience. Frustrating, right? But the truth is, no one can control your emotions unless you let them. Imagine if you could stay calm and unshaken, no matter what life or someone else does. Picture yourself going through the entire day with a strong sense of peace, to the point where even the most annoying situations can't rattle you. This isn't just wishful thinking, this is emotional mastery. In this episode, we're going to dive into 10 transformative lessons that help you stop reacting impulsively, let go of anger, and regain control over your emotions. These lessons aren't about ignoring your feelings or pretending not to care. They're about building mental strength to navigate life's challenges with grace and clarity. Whether facing criticism, setting boundaries, or learning to let go of grudges, you'll discover practical tools to protect your peace and live with confidence. By the end of this episode, you'll have the mindset and strategies to maintain your composure and stay calm, even in the most difficult situations. So, if you're ready to unlock the secret to emotional freedom and live a life where no one controls your emotions, let's begin. Your journey to mastering your emotions starts now. Lesson 1. Understand that your response is your choice. Imagine you're enjoying a peaceful day, maybe sipping coffee or strolling through the park, and suddenly someone says something rude or thoughtless. Your calmness vanishes, and in its place is anger or frustration. You think to yourself, why are they ruining my day? But the truth is, they didn't ruin it. You did. Your emotions are your responsibility, not theirs, not anyone else's. No one has the power to control how you feel unless you give them that power. Think of it this way. The world can throw challenges at you, but only you decide how to respond. Let me offer a new perspective. Imagine you're wearing noise-canceling headphones in a crowded city. The loud sounds of cars honking and people talking don't disappear, but they no longer disturb you. Mastering your reactions is the same. You don't have to let the noise of others' behavior disrupt your peace. There's a profound thought that expresses this beautifully. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. When someone cuts you off in traffic or criticizes your work unfairly, it's easy to blame them for your anger. But if, instead of reacting, you pause, in that moment of pause, you'll find strength. The strength to choose calm over chaos, control over impulse. Here's a practical example. Your colleague dismisses your idea in a meeting. Instead of immediately reacting or letting the anger fester throughout the day, you take a moment to breathe and reflect. Is this about me? Or is it about their stress or biases? By reframing the situation, you reduce its emotional impact. The beauty of this approach is that it's not about suppressing your feelings, but about recognizing that your emotions are separate from your reactions. Anger and frustration are natural, but they don't have to control your next move. First, pause and recognize when you're feeling triggered. Stop and name the emotion you're experiencing: anger, hurt, irritation. This helps break the automatic reaction cycle. Next, question yourself. Reflect on why you're feeling this way. Is it because of what happened or because of how you're interpreting it? Finally, choose your response. Decide how you want to act based on your values and long-term peace, not just the emotions of the moment. Imagine the freedom of living unaffected by others' actions. Rude strangers, thoughtless comments, or minor inconveniences. All of these can't shake you. When you master your reactions, you're standing at a crossroads. You can let others manipulate your emotions, or you can take back control and protect your peace. Next time someone tries to upset you, remember, their behavior doesn't define you. Your response does. And when you choose calm, you're not only mastering your emotions, but you're also achieving true freedom. Lesson 2. Don't expect others to behave like you. You're always ready to help when someone's in need, but when you're facing difficulties, they disappear. Your body tenses up. Your hands clench as you hold on to a faint hope that they will care. But all that answers you back is emptiness. Every thought in your head feels heavy. How could they be so thoughtless? I would never treat them like this. The truth is, people don't act according to your standards or values. They act based on their own thoughts and interests. Expecting others to think or react like you is like trying to change the weather. It's futile and only leads to disappointment. Imagine that everyone is walking their own path, shaped by their experiences, beliefs, and priorities. When someone does something that frustrates or hurts you, it often says more about them than it does about you. Trying to change their behavior only leaves you feeling more powerless. Instead of expecting others to act the way you would, learn to accept them as they are. Let me give you an example. Picture a colleague who constantly interrupts you during meetings. You might feel your face flush, your hands clenching in frustration. But if you pause for a moment and realize that this is just their habit, not something directed at you, you'll feel lighter. By releasing the expectation that they will change, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. There's a saying that rings true. Expectation is the root of all suffering. The less you expect others to act according to your standards, the more you protect your peace. Try a small exercise to help you let go of these expectations. Step 1. Identify your thoughts. When someone disappoints you, ask yourself, what was I expecting them to do? Step 2. Reassess the expectation. Think about whether that expectation was realistic. Is it reasonable to expect others to act the way you would? Step 3. Shift the focus. Instead of trying to control their behavior, focus on how you can stay calm and protect your own emotions. Imagine the relief of no longer being affected by others' behavior. Rude strangers, absent-minded friends, or tactless colleagues. None of them can unbalance you unless you allow them to. When you stop expecting others to meet your standards, you reclaim control over your reactions. In the end, people are who they are, not the version you want them to be. Accepting this doesn't mean condoning bad behavior or abandoning your values. It means recognizing that your peace is too valuable to sacrifice over things you can't control. Next time someone disappoints or frustrates you, stop and remind yourself. They are acting according to their nature, not mine, and that's okay because I am the one who decides how to react. Letting go of expectations not only frees you from the influence of others' actions, but also releases you from the emotional burden you once carried. Lesson 3. Let go of the need to always be right. Remember the last time you argued with someone. It could have been something trivial, like which route is faster, or a more serious issue like a conflict with a friend or partner. When the conversation gets heated, do you feel your breath quicken, your chest tightening with the need to prove you're right? We've all been there, clinging to our point of view like it's a lifeline. But the truth is, the need to always be right only drains you. The desire to win every argument, to defend your point at all costs, often stems from insecurity. It's like a silent fear that if you're wrong, your worth will be diminished. But think about this. What if you could let go of that need entirely? What if you could enter a debate with curiosity instead of defensiveness? Here's a thought-provoking question. Do you want to be right, or do you want peace? Often, stubbornly defending your position only increases tension, damages relationships, and leaves you exhausted. In contrast, when you're no longer caught up in the need to prove yourself, you can maintain calm and approach every disagreement with a more understanding mindset. Imagine someone accuses you of something unfair. Your first instinct might be to immediately rebut, every muscle in your body tense, itching to argue. But if you stop, take a deep breath, and choose not to react immediately, you'll realize you have more options than just fighting back. When you let go of the need to always be right, you not only protect your peace but also preserve important relationships. But if you stop for a moment and ask yourself, is it really worth exerting energy to prove they're wrong? Will this argument change anything important in your life? For most, the answer is no. Imagine a friend insisting their way of solving a problem is better than yours. You feel the tension building in your chest, a surge of heat rising as you want to counter them immediately. But instead of diving into the debate, you could calmly say, "I understand your point of view and respect how you see things." Just with that simple statement, the tension is eased. You've maintained your composure and avoided an unnecessary confrontation. The philosopher Lao Tzu once said, "He who clings to his point of view will never grow." Letting go of the need to always be right doesn't mean abandoning your principles or staying silent about important matters. It means understanding that not every disagreement needs to be settled on your terms. It's wisdom in choosing when to speak and when to step back. Start practicing this mindset with 3 simple steps. Step 1. Pause before reacting. When the urge to argue arises, take a deep breath and ask yourself if this is really worth your energy. Step 2. Seek understanding. Instead of trying to win, ask questions to better understand the other person's perspective. This approach often helps ease the conflict faster than you might think. Step 3. Choose your battles wisely. Save your energy for disagreements that matter, those that affect your core values or lead to meaningful outcomes. Gradually, you'll realize that letting go of the need to be right brings tremendous freedom. The relief and calmness you experience will become familiar, as you no longer get caught up in meaningless debates. Arguments will lose their weight because you've chosen peace over ego. Remember, your value isn't defined by winning an argument or proving your intellect. It's reflected in how you manage your energy, protect your peace, and maintain your dignity. Next time you find yourself in an argument, stop and remind yourself, winning this argument won't make me happier, but staying calm will. In that moment, you'll feel the true strength of letting go. Lesson 4. Don't let others' words determine your worth. Imagine you're excited to share a passionate idea. Your voice is full of enthusiasm, your eyes shining with confidence. But then, someone suddenly interrupts with a dismissive comment. Your throat tightens, the fire inside you flickers out. Their words echo in your mind, each syllable weighing heavily on your thoughts. Why does this happen? Because we often let others' words determine how we see ourselves. But here's the truth. Your worth isn't found in someone's praise or criticism. It doesn't depend on the recognition or judgment of others. If you let their opinions define your value, you've given them control over your emotions. True freedom comes when you take back that control. Consider this example. A colleague criticizes your work, not to offer constructive feedback, but in a harsh, personal tone. Your first reaction may be your chest tightening, your heart racing to defend yourself or rebut. But if you pause for a moment and remind yourself, these words reflect their point of view, not my value, you'll feel your power return. When you separate your self-worth from others' opinions, you protect your peace and focus on what truly matters. Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius once said, "It is strange that we love ourselves more than anyone else, yet care more about the opinions of others than about our own." This doesn't mean ignoring feedback or dismissing those around you. It means knowing how to filter out what truly matters. Constructive feedback helps you grow, but meaningless negative judgments aren't worth your attention. So how do you stop letting others' words affect your self-worth? Pause before reacting. When you hear a criticism that hurts, take a deep breath. This pause gives you the opportunity to choose how to respond rather than acting on emotion. Distinguish between fact and opinion. Ask yourself, is what they said truly accurate, or is it just their subjective view? Keep only what can help you improve. Reinforce your belief in your own worth. Remind yourself that your value doesn't depend on others' approval or judgment. Lao Tzu once said something profoundly meaningful. If you are bothered by the thoughts of others, you will always be their prisoner. Letting go of the need for recognition does not mean you no longer care about others. It means you no longer let unnecessary opinions hinder your growth. Next time someone makes a negative comment, remember, the words they say do not define me. I am the one who decides my own worth. And when you embrace that, you will experience true freedom. Maintain your self-confidence. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, am I allowing this to define who I am? Or can I focus on what I truly know about myself? In that moment, you regain your strength. You remind yourself that no word can diminish your value unless you allow it. True strength doesn't lie in avoiding criticism. It's in standing firm, even when facing it. When you stop letting others dictate your worth, you create space for honesty, confidence, and peace. And that is a life no one can take from you. Lesson 5. Protect your energy by setting boundaries. Imagine this. A friend calls you in the middle of a busy day, asking for help with something they could easily handle themselves. Or a coworker suddenly dumps a task on you last minute, assuming you'll agree without question. Your shoulders stiffen, your breath becomes heavier. A part of you feels compelled, but another part hesitates, afraid to disappoint them. Why is saying no so difficult? The truth is, protecting your peace means setting boundaries. And boundaries are not selfish. They are essential. Without boundaries, you let others control your time, energy, and emotional balance. Saying yes to everyone means you're saying no to yourself. Powerful reminder, you cannot fill someone else's cup if your own is empty. If you continuously give without protecting your energy, you'll burn out, become resentful, and lose connection with yourself. Boundaries are how you protect your emotional freedom while maintaining healthy relationships. Think about this. When someone crosses your boundaries, it's not their fault. It's because you haven't clearly established and upheld your limits. People can't read your mind. If you don't communicate your boundaries, they will continue to cross them, often unintentionally. Setting boundaries is an act of self-respect, and it teaches others how to respect you. Take this example. You're always the one your friends turn to for advice, even late at night. You want to help, but these conversations are draining your energy. Instead of silently resenting them or feeling taken advantage of, you could gently yet firmly say, I care about you, but I need time to rest in the evening. Let's talk tomorrow. This simple statement is both firm and compassionate. It protects your peace without damaging the relationship. Philosopher Epictetus once said, freedom is the ability to live as we wish. Living freely doesn't mean neglecting others' needs. It means choosing how to use your energy purposefully. Boundaries help you decide what truly matters and ensure that you don't give more than you can. How to set boundaries effectively. First, be clear and honest. Communicate your limits calmly and directly. People are more likely to respect boundaries when they understand them. Next, use I statements instead of you. Focus on your needs rather than placing blame. For example, I need quiet time after work, instead of, you always disturb me. Finally, uphold your boundaries. When you set a limit, follow through with it. Consistency helps others realize that you're serious about protecting your space. Lao Tzu once said, those who know when to stop will avoid trouble. This wisdom reminds us that understanding and respecting our own limits helps us avoid unnecessary stress and frustration. Boundaries are not walls to push others away. They are bridges that foster healthier, more balanced relationships. Next time you feel overwhelmed or disrespected, stop and ask yourself, have I clearly communicated my needs? Am I respecting my own boundaries? By setting boundaries, you not only free yourself from unnecessary burdens, but also reclaim your energy for what truly matters. Remember, you are not responsible for managing everyone's emotions or solving their problems. Your greatest responsibility is to yourself, your peace, time, and emotional well-being. So protect your energy, set boundaries, and feel the relief and control that comes with it. When you prioritize yourself, you bring the best version of yourself to the world. Lesson 6. Let go of attachment to others' opinions. Imagine you just shared an idea that you're incredibly proud of with a group of people. But instead of receiving support, you're met with indifferent shrugs or sharp comments. Your chest tightens, a wave of hot air rising to your throat. Your hands clench, your heart racing. A fleeting thought crosses your mind. Am I really as good as I think I am? In that moment, your confidence wavers. So what does this mean? You've allowed someone else's words to invade the way you see yourself. Remember, true confidence doesn't come from the approval of others, but from knowing your own worth. Criticism may hurt you, but it cannot defeat you unless you let it. By choosing to focus on what you know is true about yourself, you regain your power. And when you let go of the need for others' opinions, you create space for true freedom. Why does their opinion matter so much? Ask yourself, Why do their words have such a powerful effect on me? The need for validation is deeply ingrained in everyone's mind, but if you constantly rely on the approval of others, it's like trying to catch a shadow. It's always slipping out of reach. Emotional freedom only comes when you stop letting other people's opinions determine your worth. Think about it this way. Everyone views the world through their own lens, shaped by their experiences, biases, and insecurities. What they say about you often reflects more about themselves than it does about you. But when you let those words seep into your mind, you give them control over your emotions and decisions. Why let them write your story? Remember this simple but powerful thought. Your worth is not up for debate. It doesn't depend on praise or criticism. It's inherent, unshaken by the noise from the outside world. Imagine this. You're wearing a new outfit you love. You walk into the office, and a colleague passes by, commenting, "That's a bold choice." You could let that remark worm its way into your thoughts, dulling the excitement you initially felt. Or you could remind yourself that their opinion doesn't diminish your joy. When you stop caring about external validation, you free yourself to live authentically. Philosopher Epictetus once said, "If you want to progress, be willing to be seen as foolish." It may sound harsh, but it's liberating. Maturity often requires you to go against the crowd, to do things others might not understand. When you're too concerned about approval, you lock yourself within their boundaries. But when you have the courage to walk your own path, even if misunderstood, you are truly free. How do you care less about others' opinions? First, ask yourself, when a comment bothers you, remind yourself, why does this matter to me? Do they really have the right to decide my life? Next, reinforce your self-worth. Focus on what truly matters to you, rather than what others expect. Hold fast to your own goals and principles. Finally, learn to let go. When faced with criticism or judgment, acknowledge it without letting it haunt you. Imagine those words like leaves drifting in the current present, but eventually flowing away. Lao Tzu said, "If you care too much about recognition, you will become a prisoner of it." This doesn't mean you ignore all feedback or isolate yourself from the world. It means you know how to filter out what doesn't serve you. Constructive criticism helps you grow, but baseless judgments, that's their burden, not yours. Imagine letting go like shielding yourself from the rain. The rain may fall, but you don't have to let it soak you. When you focus on your inner compass, you remain steady, no matter how others see you. Next time someone's words make you falter, stop and ask yourself, am I living for them or for myself? When you choose to let go, you regain freedom, protect your peace, and build a life that aligns with who you truly are. Remember, your path is your own, and it's too precious to be swayed by passing opinions. Respond with silence, not anger. Imagine this, you're in a heated argument. Someone throws out a cruel remark, deliberately provoking you. Your heart pounds, your breath grows heavier. Your face tightens, your hands clench, and a stream of fiery anger rises to the top of your head. Every fiber of your being urges you to respond, to fire back with a sharp retort, to say something that will leave them speechless. But what if you simply stayed silent? Silence is one of the most powerful weapons in the face of negativity. It doesn't mean you're conceding or avoiding. It means you're choosing calm over chaos. Silence is not weakness. It shows that you're strong enough not to get caught up in their game. There's wisdom in that the less you react to negativity, the more peaceful your life becomes. Take an example. You're in a meeting, and a colleague deliberately tries to embarrass you in front of the group. You have two choices. You could respond with an endless argument, or you could stay silent, observe, and let them expose themselves. By staying silent, you take away the reaction they were expecting. You maintain your composure, allowing those around you to judge who truly has the higher character. Philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best response to anger is silence. Anger needs fuel to keep burning, but when you refuse to add any, the fire naturally dies out." When you choose not to react, you break the cycle of negativity and protect your emotional balance. Think of silence as a shield. Toxic words may come, but they'll bounce off instead of piercing you. Next time, when someone tries to provoke you, stop. Feel your heartbeat. Take a deep breath. And instead of responding immediately, stay silent. You'll realize that your peace matters more than any argument. Turn silence into a powerful weapon. Silence is not avoidance. It's a shield that protects you from unnecessary conflicts. Imagine this. Someone makes a provocative remark. Their tone is sharp as a blade cutting through the air. You feel your chest tighten, your throat burning as if a flame has erupted. Every cell in your body urges you to respond instantly. But instead of letting the anger overwhelm you, pause. Pause before reacting. When someone deliberately provokes you, take a deep breath. Let the silence create a space where you can clearly assess the situation before speaking. Listen without defensiveness. Sometimes people just need to vent. Let them speak without interrupting or feeling the need to explain. Speak only when necessary. If you must respond, keep your tone calm and succinct. A firm, concise statement, no rambling. A Buddhist philosophy reminds us, speak only when your words are better than silence. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It means you have the right to choose the timing and manner of their expression. Silence is not avoiding the issue. It helps you maintain your strength. Think about how many times you've regretted speaking hastily in anger. Silence removes that regret. It gives you time to reflect, reassess, and respond thoughtfully rather than being swept away by emotions. Sometimes, silence can be more powerful than words. Next time, if someone tries to provoke you, stop and ask yourself, will responding really help, or will it just make things worse? By choosing silence, you protect your peace, demonstrate strength, and maintain control of your story. Remember, silence is not surrender. It is wisdom. It's how you stand firm in the storm without letting yourself be swept away. Lesson 7, Gratitude, the key to easing anger. Imagine a day filled with frustration, plans falling apart, someone saying something hurtful. Even the smallest things become so annoying that you feel like there's molten lava boiling in your chest. Your breath is heavy, your face tense, your hands unconsciously clenching into fists. A question erupts in your mind. Why does everything have to be so difficult? But then pause. What if, instead of getting caught up in the frustrations, you shift your focus to what is still going well? Gratitude has the power to turn anger into peace. It's like a reset button for the mind, pulling you out of the negative spiral and reminding you that there's always something good, even in the most trying moments. Try a simple example. You're stuck in heavy traffic, time ticking away as you're already running late. The frustration rises like waves crashing. But instead of letting anger take over, take a deep breath and think of 3 things you can be grateful for. Maybe it's you have a car to shield you from the sun and rain. You're on your way to a wonderful opportunity. A favorite song is playing on the radio. These may seem small, but the shift in mindset can turn tension into acceptance. Philosopher Cicero once said, "Gratitude is not only the greatest of virtues, but the parent of all the others." Not only does gratitude soothe anger, but it also makes you more resilient, patient, and focused on what truly matters. You can turn gratitude into a habit by stopping to reflect. When frustration begins to rise, take a deep breath and ask yourself, what's there to be grateful for right now? Writing down the good. Each day before going to bed, write down 3 things that went well, no matter how small. This helps train your mind for positive thinking. Lesson 3, use gratitude to shift your perspective. When facing a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? Could it be worse? For example, if someone criticizes you harshly, instead of letting anger consume you, try thinking, at least I have the chance to learn from this, even though the way they said it wasn't pleasant. This doesn't mean you forgive or accept someone else's negative behavior. It simply means you maintain control over your emotions. The Buddha teaches, be grateful, for if today you haven't learned anything significant, at least you've learned something. If you haven't learned anything, at least you're healthy. If you're not healthy, at least you're alive. And with that, there's always something to appreciate. Gratitude doesn't negate the hardships or suffering. It simply helps you prioritize what lifts your spirit. rather than being drowned by what drags you down. Transforming anger into peace. Next time when anger quietly simmers in your chest, stop and ask, what can I be grateful for in this moment? Picture this, your breath heavy, your chest heaving as if ready to explode. Your hands instinctively clench, knuckles turning white. Anger rises, burning hot like glowing embers in a furnace. But instead of letting it dominate, focus on what you can appreciate right now. You'll realize that gratitude doesn't just melt away the anger. It replaces it with calm, clarity, and a sense of control. In those moments, you'll understand that peace isn't something you seek. It's something you create. Lesson 8. Turn criticism into an opportunity for growth. Imagine this. You've just shared an idea you're passionate about, perhaps at work, with friends, or on social media. But immediately, someone douses your enthusiasm with harsh criticism. Your heart races, your veins tightening as if they're about to burst. It feels like an invisible punch to the chest, leaving you burning with frustration. Your first reaction? To defend yourself, perhaps even to retaliate. But what if you could view criticism differently? Instead of seeing it as an attack, see it as an opportunity for self-improvement. No matter how it's delivered, negative feedback still holds value if you know how to take it. It can point out blind spots, challenge your thinking, or help you grow. When you shift your perspective, criticism ceases to be a source of frustration and becomes a tool to help you progress. For example, you're preparing for a presentation. A colleague casually points out a few mistakes in your content. You could dismiss it, thinking, they just want to bring me down. Or you could stop and consider, is there some truth in what they're saying? Can I use this feedback to improve my presentation? By choosing the second option, you've turned an uncomfortable critique into a stepping stone toward improvement. There's a great saying, criticism is like rain. If it's gentle, it helps the plants grow. If it's harsh, it can uproot them. How to handle criticism wisely. Pause before reacting. When criticized, take a deep breath. Let a few seconds pass so you can respond with reason, rather than letting emotion dictate your actions. Consider the source. Do they genuinely wish to help you? Do they fully understand the issue? Some people criticize out of jealousy, ignorance, or malice. Learn to filter out what's worth listening to. Look for the lesson in it. Even the harshest criticism can contain something useful. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this comment? A more personal example. A family member makes a hurtful remark about your career choice or lifestyle. Instead of arguing or shutting down the conversation, you could calmly respond, I understand your concern. I'll think about that. This response shows maturity and gives you time to reflect without escalating the tension. Philosopher Epictetus once said, if someone speaks ill of you, don't rush to defend yourself. Simply reply, they only know a small part of me. If they knew more, they'd have even more to say. Seeing criticism this way helps you avoid being wounded by external words. Instead, you can use it as a mirror to better understand yourself. Next time, when facing criticism, ask yourself, what can I learn from this feedback? Is this my issue, or is it theirs? How can I grow from this moment? Lao Tzu once reminded us, knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. When you embrace feedback with the right mindset, you'll gradually begin to see a more refined version of yourself. The lessons of growth are often uncomfortable, but those brave enough to embrace the discomfort will develop a strength that no criticism can shake. Lesson 9. The art of letting go. Imagine you're holding a hot coal, waiting for the chance to throw it at the person who hurt you. But while you're waiting, who is it that's getting burned? You. Anger, hatred, and resentment are the same way. They don't harm others as much as they slowly consume you. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean you forgive what has happened or pretend that you haven't been hurt. It simply means stopping the past from controlling your present. Letting go, the art of peace. Imagine you're dragging a suitcase filled with anger and pain. The tighter you hold on, the more your hands ache and your legs grow heavier. But when you let go, you release yourself. Letting go is choosing not to allow the past's wrongs to steal the peace of the present. By relaxing your grip, you regain energy, tranquility, and the ability to focus on what truly matters. And that is real strength. Letting go, the art of peace. The Buddha once said, "Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies." Think about a time someone hurt you. Maybe it was a betrayal, an unfair judgment, or a harsh comment. How much time have you spent replaying that moment in your mind? How much energy has been wasted in imaginary conversations, in planning a response, or in persistent frustration? Letting go is the antidote to this endless cycle. It helps you move forward instead of being stuck in the past. Choose peace over resentment. Imagine this: you're at work. A colleague blatantly takes credit for your idea. Your chest tightens, your breath becomes quicker. Heat rises from your chest to your ears. A wave of emotion surges within you, urging you to react. You could spend days stewing in injustice, allowing the anger to cloud your mood and work. Or you could choose to let go. Realize that your value is not defined by a moment of acknowledgement or by someone else's gaze. When you choose the latter, you protect your peace and focus on what truly matters: growth and the opportunities ahead. Lao Tzu once said, "When I let go of what I am, I become what I could be." Letting go isn't just about relinquishing anger or resentment. It's about letting go of perfectionism, fear of failure, or the need to control everything. It's about accepting that life is unpredictable and finding freedom in that acceptance. How to begin the journey of letting go. Acknowledge your feelings. The more you suppress them, the stronger they grow. Let yourself truly feel the pain, anger, or disappointment without judgment. Look at the situation from another perspective. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me stronger? Focus on the present. Letting go is a decision you make for yourself, not for others. Redirect your attention to the present moment, where you truly have control. Letting go is like releasing a balloon. The tighter you hold on, the more it hurts. Your fingers stiffen, trying to cling to the string, while your arm goes numb under the weight of the emotions. But when you release your grip, the balloon soars into the sky, and you feel lighter. Life no longer becomes a string of what happened, but a string of what can happen. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, don't waste your time on what is beyond your control. Let go, and you will find peace. Letting go doesn't mean letting others overpower you or ignoring injustice. It means knowing where to direct your energy. When you give up what can't be changed, you create space for what can be changed. A brighter, more peaceful, and more complete life. Next time you catch yourself holding on to anger or regret, stop and ask yourself, is this worth my peace? What would my life be like if I let go? The answer will lead you to soul-deep freedom, because true strength lies not in holding on, but in knowing when to let go. And when you do, you'll realize, the lighter you are, the stronger you become. Mastering emotions, the journey toward a stronger life. We've explored 10 lessons together to help you control your emotions and stay grounded in the face of life's challenges. These are not just ideas, but tools you can use every day to protect your peace, cultivate resilience, and control your responses. Remember, the goal isn't to suppress emotions or become indifferent. It's to respond to challenges with wisdom and inner strength. Mastering your emotions isn't about what happens to you, but how you choose to react. The strength to stay calm, steadfast, and free is entirely in your hands. As you continue on your journey, carry these lessons with you. Pause before reacting. Set boundaries to protect your energy. Let go of the things and people you cannot control. Each time you choose peace over anger, you move closer to the stable life you deserve by mastering your emotions. If you find value in these thoughts, don't keep them to yourself. Share them with someone who might need a little peace in their life. And if you have experiences or perspectives on how to maintain steadiness in the storms of life, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for walking this journey with me. Remember, emotional freedom is not a destination, but a journey. So keep choosing peace, keep living mindfully, and keep growing stronger every day. See you next time. Take care and stay strong.